Looking at Japan from the outside, it appears to be a thriving, technologically advanced country with the third largest economy in the world. Well known for its safe cities, robust healthcare system, and famous companies like Toyota and Sony. However, beneath this glossy surface, Japan is struggling with a number of deep-rooted social and economic issues that threaten its future stability. One of the most significant of these challenges is the lost generation, a cohort of millions of people who entered the workforce during Japan's lost decade in the 1990s after the economic bubble burst. This generation faced a brutal job market, and many ended up in precarious, part-time, or temporary jobs, never able to secure the stability needed for financial and personal success. They are a symbol of Japan's decline from economic grace and a forewarning of its troubling future. The collapse of the bubble economy in the early 1990s marked the end of Japan's economic miracle. The asset bubble, fueled by speculative investments in real estate and stock markets, burst, plunging the country into a prolonged recession. The lost generation struggled in this new economic landscape, with many individuals failing to secure the kinds of stable, lifelong employment their parents had enjoyed. These young people were often relegated to underemployment, working in low-wage, part-time positions without job security or prospects for advancement. This has left a significant portion of the population marginalized, unable to buy homes, support families, or contribute fully to the economy. Adding to the issue is Japan's aging population, a demographic time bomb that threatens the country's social welfare system. Japan has one of the highest life expectancies in the world, but with a declining birth rate and fewer workers entering the workforce, the strain on the pension and healthcare systems is enormous. Many members of the lost generation, now middle-aged, find themselves without the savings or stability to retire, exacerbating the crisis. In some cases, they rely on aging parents for support, perpetuating cycles of financial dependency that the government may not be able to sustain. Furthermore, there is a growing mental health crisis. Many from the lost generation suffer from depression, anxiety, and social isolation. The phenomenon of hikikomori, people who completely withdraw from society and live in extreme isolation, is on the rise. These individuals, often in their 30s, 40s, or 50s, are a stark reminder of the deep societal issues Japan faces. Alongside this, suicide rates in Japan remain among the highest in the developed world, particularly among men of working age. One of the most concerning aspects of Japan's current economic struggles is the depreciation of the yen. Japan's currency has faced a steady decline, driven by a confluence of factors. The country's population is shrinking, and with it, economic output is falling, weakening investor confidence. The Bank of Japan's policy of maintaining ultra-low or even negative interest rates, designed to stimulate growth, has made yen-denominated assets less attractive to foreign investors. Additionally, Japan's towering public debt, which is among the highest in the world relative to GDP, has added further pressure on the currency. Finally, global economic trends, particularly the strengthening of the US dollar, have exacerbated the yen's decline, further undermining Japan's financial position. Japan's history is also marked by a deep sense of cultural pressure and social conformity. Many Japanese workers feel trapped in an unforgiving corporate culture that prizes loyalty and endurance over innovation and personal well-being. Workers are often expected to sacrifice their personal lives for the company, leading to overwork and stress. The term karoshi, or death by overwork, is a real phenomenon in Japan, where employees can work such long hours that they collapse from exhaustion or suffer fatal heart attacks. This culture of overwork not only contributes to physical and mental health problems, but also discourages younger generations from pursuing traditional careers in large corporations, further weakening the labor force. Japan is also experiencing political stagnation, with leadership often hesitant to enact the radical changes needed to address these social and economic problems. A shrinking labor force, combined with resistance to significant immigration, means that Japan is not replenishing its workforce at the rate needed to sustain economic growth. While the country is technologically advanced, with one of the highest levels of automation and robotics integration in the world, this has not been enough to offset the broader demographic and economic challenges. The yen's collapse is a symptom of a much larger economic problem. With an aging population, shrinking workforce, and rising debt, Japan is finding it increasingly difficult to maintain its global financial standing. While Japan remains a technological powerhouse, these underlying issues paint a troubling picture for the future. So, what lies ahead for Japan? Can the country navigate its way out of these intertwined crises of economic stagnation, social alienation, and a depreciating currency? While there are efforts to stimulate growth, including plans for technological innovation and the expansion of export markets, the country's demographic crisis and entrenched social issues will require far more radical reforms. If Japan cannot find a way to support its aging population, revitalize its economy, and offer hope to the lost generation, the future may hold even more uncertainty. Japan remains a nation of contrasts, where impressive achievements in safety, healthcare, and technology coexist with deep economic, social, and psychological struggles. The path forward will depend on the country's ability to confront these issues head-on, rather than continuing to rely on its past successes.